What is a peace-filled mind? I'm standing underneath a tree that I really enjoy the energy of. I love being in this place. And it's a place that has, for truly years, brought me to a place of understanding so many of life's mysteries. Are there still many more out there? Absolutely. But years ago, I was really struggling with sleeping. I was struggling with things at work. My dad was sick. I just felt like my plate was too full, and I felt like I'd forgotten who I was, and that I was on a path that wasn't necessarily one that I knew where I was going to end up. And inside of that, I began looking for more in life. I looked for a way of finding more. And inside of that, Reiki found me. It's a conversation for another day. However, inside of my experience with Reiki, I also began to experience peace of mind in a whole different way. I'd been raised in a Christian home. I was raised with spiritual practices. They were part of my daily life then. They are part of my daily life now. So it wasn't that I was missing that part of my life. It was that I was struggling inside of myself to find a place that I could deeply put my roots and feel like the roots were nourishing me. So why are we standing underneath this tree? Let me share with you. If you look up here, you're going to see that there are limbs that's completely dead, that there is no life there. And yet this tree has not dropped those off yet. At some point during a storm, they will absolutely come off. But at this point, they are still providing for birds to stop on, for hawks to come and eat under. They are providing space. They are providing something. So as much as I want my life to have no anxiety, no depression, no toxic suffering, life is not made up of that. And now that I'm over 50, I can easily say that I get that part of it, that things are going to ebb and flow. But you don't need to wait until you're my age. You don't need to wait at all. You can look at your own life and see that things don't stay the same all the time. So back to this whole concept of what is a peace-filled mind. I believe that a peace-filled mind has a foundation to it. It has a place that you can consistently go back to be reminded who you are and whose you are. I believe that there is a creator, and I believe that the creator is creative and that we are made in the image of, and so therefore you are creative, and that we feel alive inside of that creativity. One of the ancient proverbs speaks, and I'm going to not give it verbatim, talks about train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. And it's talking specifically about the gifts that the child has. It talks about the parent needing to learn how to help the child that has these incredible divinely given gifts in order to develop them. I was super lucky as a child that my parents, although they didn't really get me at different points, I don't have the scientific mind that my parents have and that my sisters have, that they allowed other adults to speak into my life who had gifts or understood my gifts differently and could help me expand them. And so my parents were looking at training up this child, me, with the gifts that I have in the way that I'm supposed to go. And when I'm old, I won't depart from it because it will be an expression of who I am. Our lives are these beautiful living canvases that we're getting to paint on. When I think back to Corrie ten Boom, she had been in a Nazi prison camp. And when I heard her speak decades ago, this little tiny woman sat on a chair and she was working with her hands the whole time. And she was working on a tapestry. And all we could see was the back of the tapestry as she shared her story of the horrors and the trauma that she had gone through. And then she looked at us, looked up, and she told us that in our lives, we only get to see the back of the tapestry. We don't get to see the front. And then she held up the tapestry. It was stunning. What she was sharing with us is that life is messy. That's what we're seeing, that's what we're experiencing. But yet, if we keep coming back to these places that are foundational, we are feeding the roots the energetic pieces that they so desire in order to thrive, to flourish. So inside of this space, I encourage you to be looking at your own daily foundational pieces. What are you committed to so that you can have a peace-filled mind? Because in doing that, you are then helping to design it.